Ladies, have you ever felt like the burdens you are carrying are just too heavy for you? Like you feel bowed down, you feel hunched over, you feel exhausted, you feel like you are just crawling through life. Ooh, believe me, I feel you. I've been there. You're not alone if you've ever felt that way. And today, I'm going to teach you a principle that I learned the hard way at a very dark time in my life that involves calling for reinforcements. And this principle, ladies, it will change your lives. So stay tuned. Are you a woman who knows God is calling you to something more, but you're unsure where to start or how to grow it into something impactful? You are not alone, and you're in the right place. Welcome to the Arise Women of God podcast, a show for Christian women who feel called to shine His light and step into their divine purpose. Each week, you'll hear stories of faithful women, both from the Bible and today, who heard God's voice and chose to say yes, even when it felt uncomfortable or uncertain to step with faith into the unknown. You'll walk away with encouragement, spiritual insight, and practical steps to follow those holy promptings in your own life. So let's arise together as women warriors of light. Let's do it God's way, God strong. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Arise Women of God podcast, hosted by Women Warriors of Light. I'm your podcast host, Tamara K. Anderson, and I am so excited to talk about this topic today because, ladies, life is hard, life is heavy, and sometimes we feel like giving up, and we just don't know where God is, why He's not helping us more. And today I'm going to teach you a principle I learned the very hard way at a very dark point in my life, and it is going to revolutionize the way you approach life and hard times. So first, I'm going to tell you a very personal story about how I learned this lesson during a very long night full of lots of prayers and tears and pleadings. Second, I'm going to share the power of a very specific prayer and how that can bring peace and heavenly help. This principle is awesome because it helps you stop being a superwoman and it helps you start delegating to heaven. So you will love that principle. And third, we're going to look at a very beautiful verse that helps tie this all together. All right. About a month ago, I taught a workshop on developing spiritual gifts. And in this workshop, we gave this one big hack. And so I shared this very personal story about how I learned this lesson. So let me share it with you now. This is a story that happened back when our family was living in Texas, and Nathan was probably about 10 or 11. And children with autism often don't sleep very well. And so he would often wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and Tamara was functioning on very, very little sleep for a really, really, really long time. And so we had a little pillow and blanket that we tucked under his bed so that if my husband or I had to go in and keep him in his room, we trained him that he had to stay there until his clock said 6. And so we would just lay by his bed to keep him happy and there for as long as it took, because we needed him to learn to stay there until his clock said 6. And so usually when he woke up, he was very content to just sit and talk to himself and giggle and laugh and stuff like that. And we would just lay on the floor and try to sleep for a few more minutes in between his little laughs and giggles. But this one particular night, he woke up and he was crying uncontrollably. And we tried medicine. We tried blessings, we tried prayers, we tried everything we could think of to help him calm down, and nothing was working. And I remember hour after hour, this vigil that took place. And after hearing someone cry for so long, you kind of hit the point where you're like, your nerves are frayed. And I remember going down and switching places with my husband at one point because I was not dealing with life very well at that moment, and I didn't want to become angry. And so I got like an hour more sleep before he had to leave for work, and then he swapped places with me again. And so here we are. It's probably about 5 a.m. at this point. And he's just still crying uncontrollably. And I remember kneeling down and just telling God with my whole heart, I have done everything that I know how to do. We've tried different tactics and tricks, and nothing has worked. I don't know what else to pray for. And just giving it to God and saying, please help me. I am just so desperate at this point to help this sweet boy calm down. And the whisper came, Tamara, pray for angels. And I was like, okay. And so I literally prayed for every deceased ancestor I could think of, grandma and grandpa on both sides of the family, great grandmas and grandpas. I mean, I was invoking half of the heavenly angels down into that little bedroom. And the sweetest spirit descended in that room. And not only did it calm him, but it calmed me. Ooh, ladies, can you feel that? Can you feel how hard it was to learn that lesson and how I'm so happy to share it with you now? The whisper I got was very specific. Pray for angels. And I did. And a miracle happened, right? We're going to now take that principle and apply it in a different way. We're going to pray for specific angels. So since then, I have learned to pray even more specifically. If I'm struggling with technology, I have learned to ask God to send technology angels to help me and strengthen me and guide me. Because let me tell you, working on the back end of a website when you're not trained as a website designer can be very overwhelming at times. Okay? But God can send technology angels to help us. If I'm struggling to organize my home, I pray for an organizing angel to come and help me. And I'm also going to share a clip where my friend Wendy Christensen talks about a different kind of angel that she prayed for her children. So take a listen here.
I have twin boys, and they were in just a little league thing, starting baseball for the first year. And when they were at a game, and my mama heart went out to them because they just kept swinging and missing and swinging and missing and swinging and missing. And I could just see the discouragement in both of them. And it was just so strong and so heavy. And I thought, I wish that they could just have one little hit just to encourage them and to help them. As I was sitting in the stands, I thought, could the Lord know and understand a mom's prayer right now? And maybe this is a time for me to ask for specific help. And I knew, and I had been hearing and reading and learning about, you need to be specific. If you want a specific answer, you have to have a specific prayer. And so I thought, okay, my great uncle, he was in the minor leagues. He played for a major baseball team. But I thought, oh, Uncle Earl would totally know how to help my boys because he was a baseball player. And so I just said a quick prayer in my heart. I just said, Heavenly Father, could you bless Uncle Earl to come and help my boys to have one small success, just to help them with their discouragement and their heaviness. And shortly after that, they both went up to bat and they both had a hit. So much so that I have one of the son, he's still in baseball, and he plays baseball now for his high school team. I've never forgotten that prayer that was answered.
Isn't that beautiful? I love this description in Hebrews chapter 1, verse 14 that says, speaking of angels, are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? Isn't that what these specific angels do? They minister to us in our moments of heaviness, in our moments of struggle. They are a beautiful positive weapon we can use when life is hard, when life is heavy. We're going to conclude with a couple of beautiful Bible verses. First is the one found in Psalm 91:11 that says, for he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. This is why God sends angels, so that you're not alone, and that they can help carry the burdens that we so often carry. Isn't that beautiful? Another beautiful verse found in 1 Timothy, where Paul is counseling Timothy. In 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14, where Paul counsels Timothy something beautiful: neglect not the gift that is in thee. The gift that God places in our mind and in our heart, the gift to call upon angels. Ladies, this is one of the gifts that we can call upon, ministering angels to be with us, to stand by us, to help us, to overcome obstacles. All right, ladies, I have a powerful gift for you, ladies, as we close out this episode. Our free download from Women Warriors of Light, called Discerning My Gifts and Strengths, has a wonderful section in there that talks all about these verses on angels and ministering angels and how to ask for angels, because it can become one of your gifts. It's a powerful tool. You can find it on the Women Warriors of Light website. In the shop, there's free downloads there, and just click and get it for free. It's fantastic. And I'll also drop the link to it in the show notes below. And please, I'd love you guys to comment. What type of angels are you needing today? What burdens are you carrying that they could help you with? Perhaps a patience angel. I know I need that one. Or maybe a courage angel, somebody brave in your family. I have a specific great-grandmother who was very courageous because she had to go through some really hard things. And I often will pray her to be with me if I feel I need to be extra courageous and brave. I'd love to pray for you. So drop what kind of angel you're needing for in the comments below. May God bless you and strengthen you today and always with angels. Don't forget to ask for them. Thanks for tuning in to the Arise Women of God podcast, brought to you by Women Warriors of Light. If you're feeling unsure how to move forward in your calling, or just tired of doing it alone, visit womenwarriorsoflight.com. You'll find resources, accountability, and a community of women who get it. Sometimes the calling feels bigger than you. That's when you need steady reminders of the powerful God who called you. Subscribe now for weekly inspiration and the courage to keep going, because with Him, nothing is impossible. And you're not the only one God is calling. That friend on your heart right now, share this episode with her. Your small act of obedience could be the breakthrough she's been praying for. Until next time, may you arise, walk God's way, and stand God strong.